Good morning. Today is Monday, September 23rd, 2024. Stocks moved higher last week after the Federal Reserve's half-point rate cut, bolstered by multiple data points supporting a cooling but still strong economy and decelerating inflation. Before we dive in, just a quick reminder that this week we have our next capital markets update and Outlook presentation. We will be live at our office. You are invited to join us for lunch. At this monthly update, we review the positives going on in the markets and the economy, the headwinds, and what we think it all means for the future. We love your questions and we stay until all questions are answered. The presentation will be streamed online as well, and the recording will be available on the website shortly thereafter. Also, just a heads up, I will be at a financial advisor conference next Monday, so there will not be a video update. I will look for you again in 2 weeks. With that, I will roll today's intro and we'll take a closer look at last week's market action. Life is too short to worry about what the next headline could do to your life savings. Hi, my name is Eric Hagan, and I keep my thumb on the pulse of the economy and the markets so my clients can focus on the things that are actually important to them. Thank you for joining me the next few minutes on today's weekly economic video update. Last week, the Standard & Poor's 500 index gained 1.36%, while the NASDAQ composite rose 1.49%. The Dow Jones Industrials average moved ahead by 1.62%, and the MSCI EAFE index, which tracks developed overseas stock markets, inched up 0.42%. The 10-year Treasury bond yield came in at 3.73%, a little bit of an uptick. However, it is still down 2.36% from a month ago and 12.24% from 3 months ago. Remember, as yields fall, bond values rise. Stocks traded in a narrow range for the first half of last week as anxious investors awaited the outcome of the Federal Open Market Committee's September meeting. Shortly after 2 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday, the Fed announced it was cutting rates by a half percentage point, a more significant cut than some investors anticipated. Stocks initially rose in response and then fell. Some market watchers attributed the decline to concern that the Fed might be concerned about economic growth. But after sleeping on it, stocks rallied on Thursday, with the NASDAQ, S&P, and Dow climbing 2.5%, 1.7%, and 1.3%, respectively. The Dow topped 42,000 for the very first time, while the S&P 500 crossed the 5,700 mark. This half-point cut was the first change in the Fed funds rate in 14 months and the first reduction in 4.5 years, bringing its target range to 4.75 to 5%. The Fed Chair Powell said the decision reflected the committee's, quote, greater confidence that inflation is moving sustainably towards 2%, end quote, and that the, quote, risks to achieving its employment and inflation goals are roughly in balance, end quote. Looking ahead to this week, we have another busy week, keeping our eye on both different economic data as well as the markets. Today, we start off with 3 different Fed officials speaking. We'll be watching what they have to say about this rate decision. Tomorrow, we get a look at the Case-Shiller Home Price Index as well as consumer confidence. On Wednesday, we get a look at new home sales and the EIA Petroleum Status Report. Thursday, a busy day, we get a look at gross domestic product, or GDP. Durable goods, we have a speech from Fed Chair Powell. We also get a look at pending home sales. A few more Fed officials will be speaking. And then there's also a 7-year Treasury note auction of importance. Wrapping up the week on Friday, we get a look at personal income and outlays, international trade in goods, and consumer sentiment. At CCG, we primarily invest in individual stocks, cutting out the many hidden costs that can be found in today's investment products. It is a lighter week this week as companies are reporting earnings. You can see just a few here on the screen. To learn more about our low-cost, fully transparent, and personalized approach, visit smartmixportfolios.com. At 2 p.m. Central today, I will be sending out our full update for the week. This update includes more than what I talk about here on Monday mornings, including our popular weekly tax tip. This week's tax tip looks at the tax treatment of hobbies. So if you earn money from hobbies, you might have to report that income to the Internal Revenue Service. This week, we share some tips to help. Again, this email and everything with it goes out at 2 p.m. Central Time. So if you're not getting this email, you may subscribe at our website. Again, www.investwithccg.com. Hey, this is Eric again. That's it for today. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave. Here at Capital Consulting Group, we provide personal wealth planning and fiduciary investment management solutions for individuals, couples, and families. To learn how to see your entire financial situation, both today as well as every year into the future, go to clearfinancialfuture.com and watch the short 2-minute video. To learn how we give our clients' life savings the attention it deserves and to see how we're doing, visit smartmixportfolios.com. And lastly, if you'd like help investing your 401k at work, visit me over at 401kinvestmentpros.com. Thank you again for your time today. I'll look for you next week.